Welcome to Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am your host, Michelle Julian, your goddess guide. Today, we are interviewing another Michelle, but her name is spelled with two L's. People always ask me the question, do you spell your name with one L or two L's? And my mother made sure I said one L only. She was very particular about that. So Michelle with the two L's, she is a brand and marketing strategist and the CEO of a marketing agency that serves the top influencers, creatives, and small businesses in the industry. Over the past decade, she has helped hundreds of women create stunning websites and brands, grow their business, and get their time back. Michelle is an industry leader in content marketing. She's a podcaster. Wait till you hear what she does, okay? She's a podcaster, YouTuber, business coach, social media expert. She's passionate about helping women entrepreneurs build businesses that last much longer than the Instagram algorithm. Oh, that's a juicy one. I can't wait to talk about that. I just can't stand when people start talking about algorithms. It freaks me out. She lives in South Carolina with her amazing husband. I like that word, amazing. He must be, because they have 5 kids. You think 5 kids. Okay, 5. Not 1, not 2, 5. That is crazy. So I just feel there's so much unpacked with you, Michelle, but I would love to lead with what we were talking about before I pressed the record button. I actually forgot what we were talking about.
That's okay. We were talking.
It's like I get this download and then it left my body.
Yes.
Why don't we first start talking about just kind of your journey of an entrepreneur? I read on your website a little bit about you in your story, but there's nothing like telling your story on a podcast that can be really mind-blowing and also magnetizing and very inspiring. So, and I feel like that's kind of one of your superpowers is actually sharing, because you got me when I was watching you on Instagram and all of a sudden I was hooked. And then before I knew it, I was like sending you a message. And I really don't even know how that happened. So maybe you can share with what you did with me.
It's the algorithm. It's just the magic algorithm. No, I'm so excited to be here and thank you for this opportunity to share my story. I really do hope that it inspires action. Like that's, at the end of the day, I don't want you to say, great job, Michelle, you did a good job, but I really want you to say, okay, I saw a little bit of myself in that story and now I have courage to take that next step. So I started my business. I mean, I was pregnant with my first baby and my husband was in medical school and I kind of felt lost because I am someone who is, obviously I like to do stuff. And so we moved and I started an Etsy business, which is like just online handmade goods. And I did that and got really successful for a couple of years. And then I had some more kids. I got a little bit more busy and I turned to photography and I had a successful photography business and turned that into a photography nonprofit. And then from there, I started coaching photographers business because ever since I was little, there are always signs, right, along your life that you're like, oh yeah, I should have paid attention. But all my life, I had been drawn to business, like not a business, but like business and marketing. And so I started teaching photographers business and that led to just teaching women business. And now I run a marketing agency where I help the influencers, creatives, and small businesses. All these women have really powerful messages and we have all of these channels like Instagram, Pinterest, like all these content channels. And if they could just, utilize those channels and get their message out, then they have such a bigger impact. And I always say, like, God is handing women the mic right now. We're really good at creating content. We're really good at helping people. We're really good at putting at connecting and building community. And we've never lived in a time when that could be so possible. And so, I mean, even from my Etsy business started 16 years ago, and so it's been a long evolution. And I just am so passionate about that aspect, is that, 16 years ago, I didn't have Instagram, I couldn't put myself out there. And now we have these tools and we can do it. And so I really like to focus on teaching women like how to use those tools. So like I can teach you how to do it, or my team will do it for you. So that's kind of my evolution. That was obviously 16 years in like 30 seconds or 2 minutes, but
That was great. No, I like the way you shared that story, because you did talk about the past and you didn't go into too much detail with the past, because we can have a tendency to get kind of stuck, like that old past of all of the things you had to go through to get to where you are.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot, and you've had 5 kids, so I can't even imagine.
Yeah. And I think that I used to, like, one of the things that used to kind of get me down is that I thought that my entrepreneurship line should have been straighter. Like, I should have just known I was going to be in marketing, right? I should have just known, or whatever. And then I realized like what a superpower that is, because I was able to experience all different types of businesses, and now I can help people. And so with our past, like, I hope that we don't get stuck in the hard and stuck in who we like used to not be, and we can say, no, like, that built on who I am now, and it helps us serve more and better.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is I think what, people really want to kind of understand is whatever chapter you are in your life right now, whether you're a mother or a grandmother, because that's me. I'm a grandmother. My daughter is a mother, and I have a grandson. And so it's about really just kind of thinking about, and I remember reading one of your blog posts last night. You're saying, like, think about your why and how you are as a person, because sometimes we get caught up in our why, and then we're so caught up in our why we can't even, it almost paralyzes us, because people keep saying, what is your why? What is your why? Do you know what your why is? And it's almost like you go down this rabbit hole of why, instead of just really saying, where am I now? What chapter I'm in now? So let's talk about the chapter in your life as a mother, and how you innovated your business, and you kind of, looks like to me you've pivoted several times. I think you just recently did your whole website over. That's what I heard in one of your, I don't know whether it was a podcast or something.
Yeah.
Am I right? Did you just do your website over? By the way, it's amazing, because I had no problem figuring it out.
Oh, good. Yep. This last summer, we spent a lot of time and effort, because I have gone through a lot of changes, and I really think, I mean, I hope entrepreneurs and women and life and whatever is accepting that your life isn't linear, and that's okay. So yes, I've been through a lot of evolutions with my business, and that has really informed my future, right? And so I really recently, so in the summer, well, let's go back a little bit further. So about 4 years ago, I had my first agency client and it's something that I'd already always thought about. And then God has a way of, like, sending the right person that you can help, right? And so I got my first client, and I just was able to see like how much impact I could have. And so over the last 4 years, I've been building my team. And now we have 20 plus women who are helping me on my agency. And I always tell them when we meet, I'm like, you were my biggest surprise, because I didn't realize how much joy I could get from nurturing, people like my team that worked for me. and I get to make money so that they can make money. And it's just like been such a beautiful thing. So last year we really buckled down and got clear on my messaging, and redid our website. And now, and just doing that, that's a hard thing. Like the why is like, people need to chill out a little bit. Simon Sinek is the one who told us to start with why. And I agree. I 100% agree. But sometimes it can be like, I don't know, is my why good enough? I mean, is that deep enough? What if I don't want this why in 2 years? And it's like, well, it's fine. It's fine, And
That's
so,
the problem. It's like
yeah.
this real, like almost obsessiveness over this is the way you need to show yourself as an entrepreneur. And that helps the person find you. But there's so much more nuance to people finding you. And you're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, well, I think so. What I would say is if you're like worried about your why, I would start with whatever why you have now, and let time refine it as you go on. Because, my why is a lot more clear now than it was 5 years ago, but it's just through taking the next step, making hard decisions, having experiences that have really refined my why. And so instead of feeling so stuck and so heavy with like, I've got to have this big why, if I have this big why, then everything's going to change. We'll start with your why right now. And your why could be if you're, maybe you just need to buy shoes for your kids, maybe you just want to put them in dancing, and that's a good enough why for me, start there. And then you start serving your people. And you start learning like, oh my gosh, as a photographer, when I take these pictures, like the moms fall more in love with their kids, and then they have pictures of them with the kids. And I was like, oh, that's actually a deeper why, and then you can just build on it. But don't get paralyzed by someone's expectations of what your why should be.
I love that. I love that. It evolves. So your why grows and evolves. So it almost magnetizes it like organically and naturally.
Well, think about it. You're growing and evolving. So that would make sense that your why and that everything's getting deeper and more intricate, because you're a real person, we're not robots. And so things change.
We are not an AI. We are not. We actually have feelings that are deep.
Yeah. And you get more understanding the more you do and the more you serve.
Yes, totally. I love that. And the thing is, like, you were mentioning your photography, like how did you take the photography and kind of pivot into like the social media marketing and all of those? How did you kind of expand that into the social media marketing? And I also want to know, like, how did you decide, especially if you're new, right, where to be on social media? Do you feel like you need to pick like one, or you can pick more than one?
Yeah. So the pivot from photography, I still occasionally do photography, and I think photography really has set me up for success on social media, because photography is so visual and so is social media. And so that's why I'm like, our experience helps us be better, it helps refine us. And so with the photography, it actually was a pretty natural transition, because I just, I started doing more business than photography. And so then the business started taking over. And also my time of life changed. It's just a whole different thing when you have 5 kids and you're running around to practices and, you're doing all these things. And so evening photo shoots is really tricky, and it really cuts into that family time. And I love a good golden hour when the light is just right and warm. And so anyway, so I had to kind of just say, what do I want in my business right now? And yes, I love photography and I still use it, but it makes more sense for me right now to help in this capacity and it makes sense for my family. It also makes sense for what I feel called to right now, which is to really help women in business. So if you're just starting out and you're like, where do I even start with social media? So social media, you're gonna jump into social media with a lot of mindset blocks that you don't realize are happening. People are like, I hate the algorithm. Instagram's the worst. And then they show up and they're like, why? Like they hate this platform. And then they're like, I wonder why I'm not growing. Like, have a little fun, enjoy it, try to get go in with a better, healthier mindset about it. And then it can be a tool for you. But I would say first of all, if you have blocks about where to start, go with the one that feels the most natural to you. So if you like creating on Instagram, then go to Instagram. If you are a TikTok person, then go to TikTok. You like the short videos and you think that you get that. But the next question I would ask is, where is your audience? So where's your audience hanging out and where do you like to create content? That's a good place to start. Don't get overwhelmed and feel like you have to be everywhere all at once. I would really recommend mastering one social media platform and then adding another, because it can really stunt your growth if you've got like a shotgun approach where you're just seeing what sticks. But yeah, so that's where I would start. But I mean, at the base would really start with your mindset with social media, because it's a different feeling when you say Instagram is a gift. Like, what a blessing, I can reach so many people from my own home. But if you start with that feeling, that's a different feeling, and you're going to create from a different energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the thing is like for you, because you've been in this world now, it's been what, over 15 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So when's your anniversary coming up with this whole entrepreneurship journey?
You know what? It's a month before my first son was born, and he's 16. He was 16 in November. So it'll be 17 years in October. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years.
A lot of years. So let's talk about how your programs really seem, from what I've seen online, about personal growth, self-care, mental health. It seems to me like not all of these topics are important to you, but you feel that they're important to entrepreneurs and how to integrate them into their business strategies, right?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes we say, okay, I am going to make this much money, and then you're like, I'm an entrepreneur, and then you're like, well, then I'm going to be a good mom. And then, we put all of these little like boxes around each aspect and each responsibility of our life. But if you think about it, if you make millions of dollars, but you don't take care of your body and you don't have relationships with any of your family or friends, you're going to be miserable but rich. And that's not where you want to be, right? And so I believe entrepreneurship is such a gift because it forces us to just better ourselves and look for self-improvement. And so I know that when I treat my body well by exercising, getting enough sleep, eating good food, I show up as a better mom and I show up as a better entrepreneur. I have more ideas. I receive more inspiration. If I set my intention in the morning and do like a little journaling, I like to check in with God through like scripture and prayer, then my day, I'm so much more clear. I don't let the little things, because there's a lot of little crazy things that happen in entrepreneurship, but if you set your intentions like that in the morning, it's a lot easier to stay on course. And so I think that like, as we're growing and developing, it has to be like an overarching goal. It can't be just in like one aspect of your life, or you're not going to find happiness. You're going to feel burnt out. You're going to feel exhausted. You're not going to have the relationships you want, and your body's going to be sad. And so we have to do it as like an overall approach to like, we are getting better.
Right. Absolutely. We're getting better. We're honing in our balance with our personal development and our family life. And that must be something you really need to practice and master in order for you to actually sustain your own well-being and grow your business simultaneously. And I think that's one of the questions I just came around to it that I asked you before I pressed the record button. So with having 5 kids and having now a business that it looks like to me, it's not just you have an agency, so you've got a team, like you were saying. Was that team was created because you needed that balance and harmony in your work life to grow?
Well, my creative agency, we create a lot of content for people. So it actually was like, as we got more clients, I needed to grow. And so that's our team manages like Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok for influencers, creatives, and small businesses. So I need the work done because we have this. So, but the balance has come because, and I think balance is a tricky word, and I just think that you have to know that like women's lives are very interesting because you change your road almost every 3 to 5 years, right? Like something changes. So whether like you just have babies and you're just doing little kids, or maybe your kids are now into middle school or high school, like there's just like all of these changes. And so we can't be too thrown off if like, when we say we have to stay balanced, that our priorities shift a little bit, because like I used to, this is a real life example, but when I was first starting out, I would stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock doing the work because my kids would go to bed at 8 or 7, and then I'd have 4 or 5 hours that I would just get my work done. And now I have a teenager who can outlast me, can stay up real late. And that's actually when they want to talk, right? Like they want to come in and they want to talk. And I love that. Like I want to be here for that. So my balance is I'm like, okay, well now everyone's out of the house for a few hours at school. So that's when I'm going to work. So I think that like to allow yourself the ability to shift when you feel a pull to shift. And really it's come down to I call it God, but people like have the inner voice or whatever. But I think that setting the priority in the morning is such a big deal to me. So I get up early, I exercise and check in with God and get ready all before 9 o'clock. That's my goal. All before 9 o'clock, the kids are out the door. But I think like just taking care of your body and your spirit at the beginning of the day helps you prioritize really easily what you need to do for the rest of the day. Because as an entrepreneur, you could do all the things. As a mom, you could do all the things. And it gets really overwhelming. But if I take a minute to check in and say, okay, what actually needs to be done today? It changes everything. And then I'm able to do the things that matter most.
Yes. I totally wholeheartedly agree with you about that, because I just made, a grateful post yesterday. I personally have, I've had breast cancer twice, and I had to learn like kind of the hard way about burnout.
Yeah.
And so I went to the doctors yesterday, and it turned out that I'm breast cancer free. Got my mammogram.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, yay, so it was like it was just like a total post of gratitude. And sometimes I forget to do that. I stay in that mode of just holding on really tight, almost like you're holding your breath as you do all your things, whether it's the self-care in the morning, spending the time with the husband, or like, talking to, your children. I talk to my grandson, but am I really in the moment embracing that joy of gratitude? So I decided to do that post, and I felt so good about it. It actually brought in more joy for the day, and I was able to like stay in that energy of joy and gratitude. And I think that that's really one of the things I think as women we forget to do, because it's just like a no-brainer for us. We're so powerful. we're such goddesses, and that's why, I kind of named this Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast, because I knew I was going to be talking to a whole bunch of really amazing, strong, powerful goddesses and sharing their stories. And I know that that's one of your kind of superpowers from everything I saw, on your website, and just like witnessing you and just having this really great conversation now. So basically, you have been advocating for women and trying to kind of go into that gender equality and kind of integrating it into all of your work. So what would you say is the biggest kind of aha for you when you did this integration of Instagram, Pinterest? You know what I mean? Like what was the aha moment to kind of put it all together?
So like when I like figured out like content marketing worked, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
So I actually did an experiment, and I like experiments. I like testing things out. So I joined an MLM, a network marketing business, but I didn't tell anyone. And I wanted to see, because I thought this would be one of the, if I'm going to do this test, this will be one of the hardest thing to prove. So I wanted to see if I just did email marketing, Pinterest, and blogging, didn't host a party, didn't sell to my friends, if I could grow a successful business with just content marketing. Okay. I didn't cold DM anyone. Anyway, so I thought we're going to give this a try. So I brought my sister-in-law on with me. She helped me do it. And we started blogging, Pinterest, email. And within 6 months, we had, again, I did not recruit, but within 6 months, I had people reaching out to me to be on my team. And by the end of a year, we had, we in the company, we were top in sales and one of the top recruiters. And so I was like, yeah, this works. So my sister-in-law has since taken that network marketing business, and she's doing it and doing a great job. But I'm like, there is so much power here in creating content. And, I really believe like we each have a message and a mission for us to fulfill here on the earth, right? We each come with gifts and talents and ways that we can serve our fellow people, and I just found that with women right now, I just feel like we're bursting, right? There's so many women that are feeling so called to share and to serve and to get out there. And so so my mission is to make all of these messages that are needed and they need to get out there, is to amplify them, to give these women the mic and say, okay, yes, love the message. This is how you need to refine it so people can hear it and take action. And then this is how you get it on all the channels so that more people can hear you.
I love it. I love that. Now, you wrote a book, right?
Oh, I have not yet. I will. I haven't written a book.
I thought you did. I don't know where I got that from.
Maybe
all of your stuff looks like books to me.
It's coming. It's coming.
I mean, of course. I mean, you have so much content. The book's already been written.
There you
go.
Like
with your content, that's what all the business coaches and writing coaches say. Your book has already been written. You just need to put it into chapters and write an outline, and boom, it will be. You'll just crank it out. Yeah, sure. I'll just crank it out in my sleep.
Sure.
We're so powerful that we can do that, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say for your future goals and plans for your business? How do you see your role evolving? Because you're so good at evolving as an entrepreneur and a thought leader in the years to come.
Yeah, I love that question. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot, is like, where do I want to be? And I love that you use the word thought leader, because I really do want to hone that energy of thought leader, especially in the social media space, because there's a lot, and well, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to even sugarcoat this. So there's a lot of bro marketers out there, right? And they are yelling at us about how to do the things on all the places. And listen, AI is coming, it's here, right? We have this. And the thing that's really going to help us stand out is community, connection, storytelling, and really speaking imperfectly to our audience, right? Because imperfections is going to be the thing that helps us stand out. And I see my hope is that I help women really step into this, because guess what? Like I said before, we're really good at storytelling. We're really good at community. We're really good at connection. And that is what is going to be required for marketing in the years to come, is that because people don't want a robot. I mean, we can use them and help, we can have all the AI help us, but at the end, it's about that connection. And so I really want to highlight those things and show people that, like, that's where the power comes. I mean, the community, your community, like, how is that powerful? It's because of the people in it, right? That are striving to be better each day, and the connections that that community makes. And so that's really where I want to head as the thought leader, is like, hey, women, it's time. It's our time to stand up, grab the mic, share our message, and really build these communities, because I really believe that's how the world changed. That's how the world changes, is good women having a voice.
I love that. Matter of fact, I think that's going to be the title of our podcast. It's time to take the mic.
Yeah, that's true.
And be the thought leader that you are.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm writing that down, but this is being recorded, so it will come to me again. And I'm also ottering. You ever use Otter?
Yes, I have used Otter.
Yeah, OTTER. It's the best transcriber out there. You can upload it right to your podcast platform, and it puts everything in there for you. It's amazing. It's amazing. It saves so many hours of me editing my own podcast. I've saved so much time with that. And it's making, podcasting fun. It takes it. You can get, this is the thing with all the things, you can lose the fun. Like you were saying, try Instagram, have fun with it. Don't have this end goal of like, I want XYZ customers or clients, or I want to sell 12 products. Like when I was having fun with my Being and Becoming Goddess Oracle deck, I sold more decks when I was having fun. Yeah. And then I started getting all kind of like very, non-organic, more technical, more funnels. I was barely selling any Oracle decks. It was like, how did that happen? Like all that grow marketing, like you were talking about funnels, and you need to say it this way, and then have a pop up window over here, so they'll be able to like click on the link and just buy it right away. Like, no. Like actually having a conversation with people, like probably TikTok, about why I use the Being Becoming Oracle deck is more like attracting for people to actually get the deck, because it's like, after a while, you just get all these emails and these, they call it clickbait. You get tired. You're like, oh God, another email. You definitely have to have a relationship and build connection with people. And I totally agree with that. This has been such a juicy podcast interview. I'm just so happy that we connected and you've been able to share all your amazing resources. And if anybody wants to find Michelle, she's I am Michelle with 2 L's, Gifford.com. And also she is on Instagram, same thing. It's the Instagram with I am Michelle Gifford. I like that. Why did you choose the I am Michelle? I'm really curious about that.
Well, there was I think there was already another Michelle Gifford. And I also, what really it came from is I have I used to have a nonprofit, a photography nonprofit called I Am Beauty Revived. And it was photographers would donate sessions to women and children who had a story to tell. Then we had a magazine, a quarterly magazine, and anyway, and so it was I Am Beauty Revived. And so it was at that time that I started my Instagram. And so I I started with, I am Michelle Gifford. And since then people have asked, like, that's such a bold statement. And I was like, yeah, it is, but I really am Michelle Gifford.
Right, right.
I am.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It almost makes me want to get a URL now saying, I am Michelle Julian.
With one L.
Yeah, exactly. With one L, or I am Michelle Julian Goddess.
Oh, wow. Anytime you can add goddess, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think I've just gotten this surge of powerful superpower surge just from being in your presence. Thank you so much for being here on Rise. And I would love you to share whatever you want to share before we say our goodbyes here. Like, is there anything particular like that you're kind of birthing this month or next month that you want to kind of promote?
Sure. Yeah. One of the things we're doing right now are audits. So for Instagram audits, a lot of people are feeling lost with Instagram. I mean, they follow gurus and they're like, that's great, but how does that actually apply to my business? And so we have, my team and I are doing audits of your Instagram, and we're giving you like, okay, great, this is what you're doing well. Here are some steps that you can take to do better. So you can have some personalization. We also have a membership community that is amazing. We do coaching calls and like either once a week or twice a month, depending on summer. We kind of slow down just a little bit. And then you get access to all of my courses and library. And so anyway, that's a great place if you're ready to start. But if I were to leave you with anything, it's if you feel a pull, a nudge, a push to start a business, then trust that and take the first step. One of my sayings that I think about all the time is the faster I start walking, the faster God starts talking. And the more we do, like, learn to trust ourselves. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely, but we can get a lot more inspiration on our feet than sitting and stewing about our why, or, what's that next step. But take some action and you'll get a lot more clarity.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So do you have a special tagline that you always say before and after your like posts or your podcasts? 'Cause, I mean, I just love all of your nuanced personality. You just kind of take all your personality and I feel like you're almost like sprinkling flavoring, with the Instagram, you do it kind of like a certain way, but I feel like there's a same theme. There's a consistency there. What is it?
I usually say, we need you.
Oh,
We need
love
you.
it.
Because, at the end of the day, you have to know that you're here for a purpose, and that your light matters, that there are people that you are here to serve and to help and to make brighter. And I think we can get really lost in not feeling enough, not feeling like we have enough to offer. We're imperfect. And so, like, should we even try? And my message is, we need you.
Love that. And my message is your activation is my activation, because I do goddess activation readings for my community. And I feel like every time I do that reading and I'm helping them with their activation, it reactivates me. So it's that mirror effect.
I love that. That's amazing.
Isn't that juicy?
I love it. Juicy.
Juicy. Everything I do is juicy.
I like it.
Thank you so much for coming on. And I just don't even want to stop talking to you. I just want to keep going. Like I told you, I think I want to be your friend.
We are friends. It just happened just here. You guys witnessed it.
Awesome.
Friendship.
Awesome. All right. Well, you have a wonderful morning because you're in California and I'm here in the East Coast. I mean, Eastern Standard Time. So you have a wonderful morning, and I will be sending out this podcast real soon. And your activation is my activation. Bye for now, Michelle.
Bye. Thank you.
Hello, you still there?
I am. Do you want me to leave? I can't. I never know.
No, it's okay. No, I actually wanted just to stop the video
Yeah.
because I just wanted to say thank you personally. Thank
Yes.
you
So
so
that's
much.
great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have
This
a
was
good
so fun. You have a great day. We'll see you.
day. Bye for
Bye.
now.